fourth grade, back with you for a little bit of reading class. It's the second lesson working with the story, The Mystery of the Empty Lavoir. How did you like that story? Interesting story, crazy goat, huh? That lavoir must have been a pretty big lavoir if the goat thought it was easier to go through it rather than around it. Not quite sure that I quite understand all that. Well, often in the second lesson I have you do oral reading, right? Can't do that here, but I think it's a good idea if you would do it at home. I think it'd be a great idea if you would do it at home. The more that you practice reading out loud, the better reader you will be. So that's what I'm going to say. I encourage you to read your story out loud to someone at home. We're going to do a little bit of review. I can't have you tell me the definitions, so I'm going to read the words and we'll review the definitions by me telling them to you. Irritably, angrily, seeped, leaked through small openings, suspiciously, in a distrustful way. The housewives looked suspiciously at the two children, right? Because they were whispering to each other. Wistfully, in a longing, sad way. Okay, part F in today's lesson is the memory verse. Memorize the Bible verse and say it to your teacher. Say it to someone at home. And then page 6 and some of page 7 has to do with work based on 2 poems in your reader. So read the poems, read them out loud, and do the work. Part J also has part of a poem. Actually, it's the poem from your reader. So yeah, especially notice what the directions say to notice there, and it's going to be best if you read that part out loud. Read that poem out loud to notice what it's wanting you to notice. I am going to read the last poem, The Goat Herd. I'm going to read that for you. The Goat Herd. One day there reached me from the street the sound of little trampling feet, and through the dust and sunlight I saw most 1,000 goats go by. The goat herd followed close behind. He looked quite undisturbed and kind, and Pablo said he knew him well, and called him Senor Manuel. His jacket was a shaggy skin, and scarlet figures woven in his blue serape made it gay, as though for a fiesta day. His black eyes twinkled in the shade that his broad-brimmed sombrero made, and all his teeth were shiny white, like mother's porcelain, and I guess I said that wrong. And all his teeth were shiny bright, like mother's porcelain, and as white. Before he went, he took a drink of something very good, I think, for he held up the gourd he wore to Pablo's lips, then drank some more. I told him there had seemed to be at least 1,000 goats, and he just laughed and said, to make a guess, there were 1,000, more or less. Written by Grace Hazard Conklin. That's it for today. Have a good rest of the day.